Hey guys, this is Juggernaut back again, back in the shooting range here in Planetside 1. Today going to be talking about the Terran Republic weapons and armor, and max units of course. So, first what I'm going to do like usual, I'm going to go ahead and put on the heaviest armor, so I can show off the most at once. And I'm only going to pick weapons that are Terran Republic specific. A lot of the things like the Amp, the Suppressor, the Punisher, those are all common pool weapons that all the Empires have, and I've already talked about those in the NC video, so I don't really feel the need to go into any sort of special detail there. So as you can see, there really aren't all that many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 specific weapons. There's about this many for NC as well. I don't fully consider the Stinger, which is right here, I don't really consider this a specific weapon, since each Empire has their own version, and they are essentially the exact same thing. They all do the same thing. So, alright. We'll jump in right here. This is the Repeater. This is the Terran Republic pistol, and this is their handgun that has a 20-shot clip, is fairly accurate, doesn't do as much damage. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that was on the weakest armor. Okay, that was on the weakest armor. This right here is an Agile, which is a little bit tougher, although this time we're going to hold down the button to really get the rate of fire going. Okay, so you can kill people pretty quick. The largest thing about it is the range. See that guy way down there? I'll zoom in a bit. 1, 2, 3... Okay, so you can do some decent work at range with it. For this reason, if you're an infiltrator on the TR side, then you can place this repeater in a pistol slot, and you can do decent mid to long range work. Not super long range, more mid range, but you don't have to be right up next to someone to get the kill, which is very dangerous to do as an infiltrator, seeing as you don't have any armor. We're going to jump over to the Stinger really quick. This is their 10mm pistol, just like the one that the NC have. It has a single shot mode, fairly slow rate of fire, and it also has, let me find someone close to the wall, the optional fire, which drains all of your stamina, but unloads the entire clip. Now, the mode is called Unload Clip. It is not 6-shot, it is just Unload Clip. So, if I've already shot 1 or 2, and then I hit it, well, as you can see there, I actually can't. You must have 75 stamina to fire the weapon, which is something that I actually didn't know, because I consider this gun to be terrible and I never personally use it. So, that ended up being left out of the NC video, so you get to see it here. 75 stamina to fire, you can't really do chain killing operations with this. Once you kill one guy, you don't have any stamina, so you can't run away, and you also can't fire it again. So, if you're fighting more than one person, it's probably not a very good idea to have or use. This right here is the Cycler. This is the medium assault for the Terran Republic. It is their basic assault rifle. You can zoom in twice with it. I will say I am using on F3 there, you see I have what's called enhanced targeting. That enables me to see health and armor bars separately. Normally you can't do that. You can't just magically look at someone and say, oh, they have like 50% HP. No, you have to have an implant specifically for this. And it also gives me a single thing of zoom, so I can usually only zoom this far, but with enhanced targeting it adds on 1, so I can go a little farther. This gun fires very rapidly, in keeping with the large Terran Republic theme. There we go. So, And the cone of fire's not bad. I was letting you get a look at the cone of fire there. It's not terrible. It's pretty good for close range just because of how quickly it fires. It does not do as much damage per shot as the new Conglomerate Gauss rifle, so that is something that you need to keep in mind. Now let's see. I'm gonna get the MCG. We have not used that yet. We'll go 3 of that, and then we'll go some of that. Okay. This is the MCG, the mini chain gun, which isn't really all that mini. The gun is fairly large. But this is the heavy assault weapon of the Terran Republic. Of all 3 empires, this personally is my favorite heavy assault weapon. I mean, come on, who doesn't like that? Who doesn't like being able to just do that? I love the fast fire rate of this gun. It's incredibly amazing. The cone of fire doesn't even bloom out at all for quite some time. If you look at the cone of fire here when I hold the button down, it didn't start to bloom until he was almost dead. So even at kind of mid-range like this, okay. That did not look like it was in line. Apparently it was. Even at mid-range like this, I can still get a kill fairly easily against a stationary target because it fires so rapidly. So, very, very cool gun. Damage per bullet, as you can imagine, is not large. It is very small. I'm going to switch it to... This has 2 modes. It has a homing missile mode, and it has a dumb fire mode. So, it has a 5-shot clip. I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which, as you can see, drains just about all of the armor and not much else. Or, lock on, 2, 3, 4, 5. As you can see, it is not quite enough to achieve a kill 1v1. And a lot of anti-vehicle weapons do seem to be balanced that way. It is definitely going to be enough to scare one off, and if it's already damaged from another engagement, then you will be able to kill it very easily with this. The lock-on feature to this, obviously it's very useful if you're the one using it. I personally don't really approve. I'm not trying to say that one empire is better or worse than any others, although I personally am NC to the bone. Being able to just lock on and just kind of move around, doing really whatever you want, I don't fully approve of that. Now, as you can see, I'm still locked on. I'm not even really aimed at it anymore, but the lock persists. Here I lose it. However, here I can get it back. As you can see, I'm kind of mousing in the general area around it, maintaining the lock. I just lost it in that corner there. But case in point, this is probably the least skillful of all the anti-vehicle weaponry. This is the least skillful by far, because you can just aim in the general direction of something, have it lock on, and then that's it, you win. As a direct result, it's the most potent of the anti-vehicle weapons in my personal opinion, because it is really, really unavoidable. If you get a lock on you, then you need to go behind trees, mountains, other people, or something in order to try and shake those missiles, because this game has no way of just dropping missile locks. There is no way to do that. From what I've seen in the little bit of footage I've been able to see of Planetside 2, it looks like you can, as an option on aircraft, fit on flares. It looks like that's an option, so hopefully that'll be something that's pretty useful. It'll be something that you can use to ditch missile locks, even from ground to air units, not just air-to-air dogfighting. Hopefully we see that as a thing. I would like it to be, because it would be pretty annoying if it was as powerful in this game, well, as powerful in Planetside 2 as it is in this game. Last but not least, Number 5, this is the knife, and I also do want to stress again, all knives are essentially the same. This one is called the chain blade. It's a little different. This is the chain blade attack. It's basically a little chainsaw blade you can kind of see running around there. So you've got your normal slash mode, and then you have chain blade, which is the stab, like that. All Empires have the same deal. They have a slash, and then they have a secondary mode which generates noise, but at the same time does more damage. And this guy's going to be too far away for me to reach. Yeah, he's too far away for me to reach. So, again, can't really demonstrate the damage of the knife in this kind of controlled environment, but you kind of get the idea. So, that was it. That was all the weapons for the Terran Republic. Now, what I think I'm also going to do in this video is I will go here to the vehicle arena. Okay? This is the VR for vehicles. Now, I have terms where I can pull all the different vehicles. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep it to Terran vehicles only. Okay, there's a lot of common pool vehicles. I am not going to cover those here. There's so many vehicles, and most of them are common pool. I'm just going to go ahead and cover them in their own video. Okay, AMS, Ant, Basilisk, Deliverer, Flail, Fury, Harasser, all of those are common pool. First difference we have is right here. We have the Juggernaut. So I'm going to pull this. Get it right out here. Let's go on the road a little ways. Now, all the Empires have their own version of this. I dub it personally as the Battle Bus. This is a heavily armored troop transport that can... Actually, I can't do it yet because I don't have full capacitor. But when I have full capacitor, I'll show you the special ability of the vehicle. So they have 4 guns, there are 2 cannons, and there are 2 smaller weapons that you can kind of see there. I'm going to get out so I can show it off from a little more different angles. Okay, there's a large cannon on the top. There's also a little cannon right here. Little cannon there, large cannon there, small cannon here, and small cannon there. The other vehicles do not have these little side turrets, I believe. I may have to amend that statement when I show off the other Empire's variants. However, the coolest thing about this, besides being huge, is this vehicle has a horn. If you hit F, you blow the horn. So that's pretty cool. If you hit B, the letter B, which is usually the button for special abilities like the cloak for the infiltrator, special abilities for max units and things like that. I just realized I didn't show the Terran Republic max units. I will do that immediately after showing off this vehicle. If I hit B here, it generates an EMP pulse. So what this vehicle is used for is this is used as a gate crasher. You load this up, as you can see over here, there's the driver, 2 slots here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more. Sorry about that packet loss there. It happens in the declining stage of this game that it's in right now. It's in a little bit of disrepair, but it's okay. These 2 in the front here, kind of the more bulkier bit, are for max units. You can put 2 max units in here, along with 8 regular infantry and yourself, the driver. So you can deploy a very large squad with this, a full squad, +1 to be exact. And with all of the firepower this has, you can get to your destination relatively unharmed, and with the EMP pulse, you can clear mines and doorways and things like that. So, very, very cool. Now, let's see, right here, this is kind of a basic tank cannon. There's a common pool single-man tank called the Lightning, which I'll show off in the common pool video, and it has this same gun. Okay, relatively quick fire rate, 50-shot clip, can hold quite a bit of ammunition. Keep in mind there are 2 of them. Okay, so it's not as wimpy as it may seem right away. Okay, now you see right here, blah 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 blah. So Basically, this is what comes up the first time you enter anything for the first time. If it had been the first time I had pulled out a certain weapon, I would get this. If I had never entered the Sunderer before, this would pop up with general information about the Sunderer. Since I've never gotten into the Sunderer, I guess this is called the ball gun before, it brings up this little helpful tooltip here. So it claims that each variant does come equipped with these little side guns. So you have these. They have limited view as it states, and right here, let's see, viewport that is designed to increase dark light vision. It's an implant that I'll go over in the implant video, and I actually did not know that. I was unaware that being in here actually boosted the range that you can detect cloakers. That is pretty cool. I was unaware of that. So you can see it's limited. However, it's a pretty quickly firing chain gun. And this is mostly, again, kind of like it said, to prevent people from flanking the vehicle. So you can't get in really, really close so that the top guns can't hit you. The con to this vehicle being so large is that those guns are all very high up. So their arc of fire is, you know, maybe somewhere around here. They can't really aim downward. They can only aim around and up. So if you get in close to it and start shooting, those guns aren't going to be able to track you. However, these will. So that's pretty nice. The gun on the back here, pretty much the same thing, except it's a little bit higher caliber. So rapidly firing, fairly large clip, 150 shots, and higher caliber than the little machine gun on the side, so they'll do a little bit more damage. You can ward off aircraft with these, you can destroy infantry with these, even light vehicles are going to take quite a pounding from those. Okay, and those are all the guns on the vehicle, just those three. They're all replicated on the other side. So before I do the rest of the vehicles, I'll go ahead back and do the max suits in the shooting range. Yay for connection problems, whatever. Anyway, I am a little ashamed I forgot these, and if anyone was curious, everything in the support tab here is completely common pool. All of this is common pool. No empires have any special variants whatsoever. The only exception to that fact is the field deployable unit's turrets. The turrets it deploys are specific to each empire. New Conglomerate have a shotgun type, Terran Republic has a chain gun type, Vondu Sovereignty has a laser type. Other than that, they are all completely and totally identical. Alright, this is the Burster Max unit. And the first thing you'll notice is, unlike the New Conglomerate Max, this has weapons on both arms. In Planetside 2, apparently all Max units will have this. You will be able to use one weapon on each arm. They'll be able to be separate weapon designs entirely, which is kind of awesome. In this game, Terran Republic is the only one with a weapon on each arm. NC and VS both have only a single weapon. This is the anti-air configuration. I can shoot infantry with it. It does a decent job. It doesn't really do that well against vehicles, as you can kind of tell. However, aircraft with flak is really where it shines. Now you may think, well, that's not really a whole lot of damage, and you're right. However, we have a 40-shot clip, and also if I hit B... Whoa, that's the shield. Forgot about that. All Max units have a shield, which you cannot turn off once you put it on. It will just drain the entire capacitor. That's my bad. Before, the shield was specific to New Conglomerate Max units only. Now all Max units have it. The special ability of the Terran Republic Max is instead relegated to C, which is crouch. And what that does is it deploys anchors into the ground. I can no longer move. I cannot jump. I have to disengage anchors. If I want to move again. I have a limited field of view. However, what this gives me is this. It gives me a greatly increased rate of fire. Very greatly increased rate of fire. Okay. Now, flak in this game is very deadly. It's very deadly. So this is an incredibly strong anti-air unit. It's very powerful. Let's clear our inventory. I'm going to do the dual cycler last 'cause it's my favorite. Let's get some ammo here. This is the Pounder max unit. This is the anti-vehicle variant. Okay. Relatively not very quick fire rate. It also has a 3-second fuse mode, which I'm trying to kind of bounce them here into them. This is more kind of used for if you happen to be in an enclosed area. You can kind of treat this almost like a grenade launcher. Spam a lot of stuff around corners, downstairs. Explode on contact is the mode you're often going to use. Like so. So, against a vehicle. Pretty good damage. Pretty good damage. Let's find a max unit here with full armor. That guy's got full armor. Chip it apart pretty quickly. Didn't take very long. However, if I deploy, then you destroy things even faster. Oh, reload. Connection problems again. I apologize for that. I'm aware. I don't think it happened in any of the other videos. Hopefully it doesn't happen too much in this one, more than it already has. Really quick, I just want to show off right here that if you can get the arc right, this is also a very good anti-air weapon. However, that would involve you managing to actually land all those shots. And last but not least, my favorite, the anti-infantry variant, which is the dual cycler. Doesn't chip apart armor too quickly, as you saw there. Okay. However, it has a 200 round clip, and if I deploy, I'll zoom in a bit, you can see this fires incredibly quick. Very rapidly. And it has an incredibly large clip. I can keep this going for a long time. There. I didn't let up once, and I almost thinned out that entire crowd. So, the Terran Republic max units are very good for defense, or for sieging. They're very good for both. If I deploy my anchors, I can also chip apart this Mosquito pretty quick. This is, however, the most lightly armored of the aircraft units, so take it with a grain of salt. It's not the best anti-air in the world, but it can do the job. Against light armored vehicles, it can pick them apart at a decent speed. Max units, if I'm deployed, yes, I can do quite a job on this guy. However, if I am not deployed, I can't, and if I am deployed, people can walk behind me, and I can't turn. So I've got to disengage my anchors and then turn. One thing to also note is max units do turn much slower than if you are not in a max unit, because max units are much more bulky. Okay? I have my mouse sensitivity is very high, and right now I'm spinning the mouse as quickly as I can, and this is as quick as I can turn. So, it's not very quick. People can get around you, and if they get behind you, it's going to be very hard to keep them in front of you again. Okay, let us go back to the VR. My apologies for missing out on that. Alright. We're back. Our Sunderer is gone, that's fine. It won't be missed. Well, our Sunderer variant, the Juggernaut. Next up we have the Marauder. This is the Terran Republic buggy. All empires have a specific buggy, which is pretty quick. As you can see here, you can move along at a decent speed. Around 70-ish kilometers per hour. It's not bad. Terran Republic is big on rapid firing, and being more guns is more better. So this buggy has 2 guns. The other Empire's buggies only have 1, and they are 2-seaters. This is actually a 3-seater. Right here I have a pretty rapidly firing chain gun. You can kind of use this to ward off small air units like the Mosquito and to kill infantry. But the best thing about it is right here in the back. This is the Pounder Cannon. And it is essentially a rapidly firing 50-shot clip mortar. Okay? You can kill infantry very quickly with this, and because of its very high fire rate, it is pretty good against light vehicles as well. ATVs, other buggies, light tanks, you can pick them apart with this pretty easily. Aircraft, if you can hit them, you can actually do quite a bit of damage. However, it requires you to actually hit your target. What I did there is I just engaged an implant called Surge. I can run a little bit quicker, kind of get back here. There we go. So that's the buggy variant. Now let me see. Here's the tank. This is the Prowler. Okay, this is the heavy tank of the new conglomerate. Of the Terran Republic. The new conglomerate's heavy tank is a tank called the Vanguard. So, Prowler moves about 40 kilometers an hour, not bad. Driver has to crawl out of there, it's a little nifty. Again, this has two separate guns. Right here, I have access to the twin-barreled cannon, which cannot do any damage to the Marauder because it is apparently immune. I don't know if that's because I'm in the VR or if it's because of the same Empire or because it's mine, but I can't hurt it at all. I guess you're not allowed to shoot other people and stuff in the VR anyway. This is supposed to be a safe environment where you can't do any damage. If I try to fire, I can actually fire. However, if I do 1 point of damage, I get that. Okay, so, and it also stops you from firing. So right now you hear, I can't fire. Anyway, other gun here, as you can see on the top, is a double chain gun. This is good for infantry, it's very good for air. This is capable of picking apart air very, very quickly. So, the Prowler actually has quite a bit of defense to it. It's very heavily armored, and the Vanguard tank for the new conglomerate, its main barrel cannon does more damage than this, so in terms of raw output, the Vanguard will beat this, I believe, every time. It does do the most damage of all the tanks. However, this one is going to have a better defensive capability, because on the Vanguard, you do have a little twin-barreled Gauss rifle thing. However, it's an alternate firing mode, because you only have one gunner. So you cannot do ground targets and air targets at the same time. This can do it simultaneously. If you have the dual-barreled cannons and the rotary chain guns all hitting the same target, it may be able to out-DPS the Vanguard. I'm not entirely sure. However, the NC hallmark is slow fire, more damage. Terran Republic is basically the opposite to that. It's rapid fire and not as much damage. Now, that was the heavy tank, the Prowler. Okay, next we're going to do the Raider, and that is it for here. We'll do the BFRs next, Battle Frame Robotics, which are pretty awesome, even though they're actually pretty underpowered in my opinion. I'll show you those in a moment. So, this is the Raider, and it has the same amount of seats as all the other classes' troop transports. However, in this version, instead of having 2 gunners and 2 passengers and the driver, it has the driver and then all the passenger seats are guns. All of them are guns. So we have this, which is a pretty accurate, very high rating fire machine gun. Doesn't do a lot of damage, sure. However, look at the top of it and consider the fact that you will be having 4 of these firing at the same time. All 4 of these firing on the same target can rip apart any light vehicle very, very quickly. And if you ever see a group of Raiders, say 3 or 4 of them, and they're all fully crewed, it truly is a very fun sight to behold or to be a part of, having all of those chain guns firing at the same thing. As a side note, I guess you can call it a special ability of this type of vehicle. This is amphibious. This can go across water, and I will show that off here. So I can drive on land, handling's not great, but if you're fighting across a bridge, instead of trying to go over the bridge, you could instead go in the water like so. You can also then do this, and kind of protect yourself from a lot of the enemy fire that is on the top of the bridge. Bombers can't get you, most aircraft won't be able to get you either, and then right when you get the end, swing out on the side, and then right here you just flanked all their defenses on this end of the bridge. If there were trees and stuff, you could drop off your squad, and I kind of want to point out, since I'm sitting right here, it is the virtual reality. However, look at that tree. Look at that fucking tree. It is terrible. It looks like it was done in Microsoft Paint. From what I've seen of Planetside 2, it's far, far better. Okay? It's infinitely better. I'm just going to use this to kind of teleport back to the beginning, because I drove off a little far away. So, I just want you to be aware. The graphics in this game, they're not fantastic. This is an old game, okay? I was playing this back in like 2004, 2005. A lot of people played it a little earlier than that. This is the Battleframe Robotics Terminal. Now we have the Colossus and the Invader. We'll do the Colossus first because this is what you're going to have to do first. Okay? This is a very large robot walker that gives you connection problems. No, it doesn't. And it has guns for the main driver, which you can see here are fairly accurate long-range tank shells. There's not a lot of drop over range. There's not very much. There is an arc, but they fire pretty quickly, and they do considerable amounts of damage. Okay, let's move over a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and hop out and get in the gunner's gun for you here. So the gunner is in command of another set of twin cannons, which are heavier damage. I would compare these to, say, the Prowler, maybe a little bit more. So I'll hop out of there. Don't know why I was invisible. I will hop back into the driver's seat. And as I'm walking around, I can hit C and just crouch. Okay, that gives you a lot more accuracy, a lot more stability. You can do that. You can hit Q to enable run mode. This will let you go quicker than you would normally be able to. However, as you saw, the movement is a little weird. It's already very slow walking around. So let's see. This is the loadout right here with the pile weapons and the gunner weapons. We're going to clear all. Okay? And we're going to switch some of these weapons in. I'll show the armor siphon and the NTU siphon first here, and I'll go directly to the mortar launcher for the gunner. Alright, so what I have here is, I guess actually I need to go... No, I don't. So, there's two weapons that I have access to. Now, since these are... I can't use these at the same time. Okay. You also can't really see it too well. There you go, you can kind of see it in the upper right there. Alright, that weapon is a siphon. Okay. So, I can drain NTU from a base with this. I can drain it, and then I can, if it's an enemy NTU silo, I can drain the power of a base with this, and then I can go to my base and I can input the power with this same thing. I can also use the alternate firing mode to use the drained energy I have and fire off an EMP blast. In my left hand over here, this is an armor drainer. Okay? Now, as you can see, it has to recharge. If you look at the ammo counter, I can't hold more ammo. What I can do is I can hold this down, it'll drain the enemy unit's armor, and then after I release, after a couple seconds, it begins to regen slowly. Okay? These two things, the NTU siphon and the armor siphon, they're not useful. They're really not. Maybe I'll show you the other BFR in a minute, the Invader, and that may have a use if you run double NTU siphons. If you're trying to drain a base of its energy, it may have a use. However, there's no reason to use them. You're going to be using actual weapons most of the time. Alright, this is a mortar which has single shot and salvo fire. Single shot launches these mortars, and then after it reloads, salvo launches that. As you can see there, it fires in 8-shot bursts. So you can get 3 bursts out of a single clip, which is not bad. It's not bad. So the mortar's a very nice weapon. It's a very nice weapon. Now we're going to go back over here, and I'm going to place on one of the anti-air weapons and one of the anti-infantry weapons, so that you can kind of see them both at the same time. That's anti-air, anti-infantry. There we go. Now, these I can fire simultaneously if I'd like. Or I can fire only one or the other. Oh, too close to the vehicle pad. So I'll reload these. I did not put on a gunner, so a gunner could jump in right now, but they wouldn't have anything to do. Alright, right here, this is the anti-infantry weapon. It's a very rapidly firing chain gun. It's quite good for anti-infantry. It's also very good for anti-air. Over here, we have another kind of flak style launcher, which is the Terran Republic's anti-air is flak. Okay, pretty quickly to fire, does quite a bit of damage. If you're running multiples of them, one on each hand, then it can be quite dangerous. Last but not least, I noticed this video is going on for around 37-ish minutes or so, so I'll hopefully end just under the 40-minute mark. The Invader. Okay. Now, this is a one-man version. There is no gunner slot. You normally cannot use this right away. You must get something in here. Let's see. Oh, I guess I automatically have these. So you can see I've played this for quite a while. I have all the way up to 6-year terms of service. These were, you can see the dates clearly don't match up. They were just given to me on the day that I logged on. It remembers that you need it, and instead of just assigning it to you when you're offline, it just dumps it on you when you get on. So you can see the dates are a little bit wonky there, but it's okay. Yeah, 6, 7... There's no 8, there's a 9, a 10, there's no 11, there's 2 12s, so yeah, you can kind of tell there. And then I was on the server of Emerald, so you get an award here for being a veteran of whatever server you used to be on. The servers used to be Markov, Emerald, and Werner used to be the servers. They all got merged into Gemini once the popularity of the game started to decline. But anyway, what I was trying to get at is right here under award progress. It is, let me see, I will need to find it in here. Okay. BFR basic. So what you need to do is, this will allow you to purchase the flight variant BFR, which is this. I'll show you the flight mode in a minute. It's not really flight, it's more of a jump. So in the Colossus, the first BFR that I showed you right over there, you need to get 100 kills with the pilot weapons, and then you have to continue on to get a 15 kill streak with the pilot weapons after those 100. The initial 100 can be over any number of deaths and or plays, any number of sessions. However, these 15 in a row must all happen without the need for rematrixing, meaning you can't log off and come back on, you can't die or anything like that. So you do need to get 15 in a kill streak, basically. If you complete all of that, you get a little achievement merit thing, and it unlocks this. which can jump pretty high in the air. Pretty high in the air. Now you see the vehicle shield turned red, and that's because you cannot use the shield and the jump at the same time. The jump actually drains the shield. That is the detriment to using the jump. However, if I'm attacking a bridge, say, I can run up, and then jump, fly. I can go pretty high and pretty far. Okay? As you can see on the map there, I just covered half the distance of this bridge. It's pretty good. Jump again. You can fire while you're in the air. So, it's very cool. It is definitely very, very cool. And what we're doing is we're heading over here, because I believe, trying to remember off the top of my head, if there is one more thing I will need to show you or not. Just jumping along. Alright, here we go. The other terminal that we spawned near, that was a ground vehicle terminal. This right here is an air vehicle terminal, so we couldn't pull any air units out of the other one. This one has all the air units, so I had to run over here to find that. So let me see. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head if there's anything that is specific or not. No, there is not. Everything is common pool. So as far as air goes, in Planetside 1, everything is common pool. Again, I'll go over common pool vehicles in a whole separate video. This is just a kind of quick preview here. This is a dropship. This is a very heavily manned and heavy damage output gunship. This is a bomber. This is a single vehicle transport. You can even transport a heavy tank in it, so it's single vehicle transport. It's also a mobile repair and rearm station, which is cool. This is a single-seater, just a chain gun as a weapon. It's mostly a scout aircraft. You can dogfight with it as well. This is a smaller transport craft, however, this can stealth. You must have infiltration armor in order to be able to get this. The certification for the Phantasm is after infiltration. Infiltration's a prerequisite. So you can cloak when you're in this, carry about 4 people. Pretty good for stealth covert ops. Reaver, it's got little cannons on the front, it's got rocket pods. Vulture, it's another one of those achievement-based kind of things, like the second BFR I showed. It is much more focused on heavy air-to-ground, much like the other bomber. This one has a very potent nose gun that the pilot operates. There is a ball turret, and the bombs are much more powerful. The Wasp is an air superiority fighter, which has a chain gun that is very, very strong against other air units. It's very rapidly firing. It has really good afterburners, like most aircraft, but this one is better. And then it also has air-to-air missiles, which are lock-on. So that was just a really quick view of all of those, kind of what exists in the game. I'm not going to pull any of them. I'll just show them off in the common pool video. So for now, that's it. I showed off all the Terran Republic weaponry that you could use in your hands, showed off all the max unit armor suits, showed off all of the specific Terran Republic vehicles. I'll be showing off the common pool vehicles in a separate video. So that's it. I have already posted the ramblings of NC weaponry, and I will do NC vehicles, probably along with the common pool vehicles, since that seems to kind of be the trend I ended up starting on accident, was NC video being NC specific and common pool, so I think I'll make the video the same. I'll make the next video a NC vehicle and common pool vehicle video. Then after that, I'll do Vanu Sovereignty specific weapons and vehicles. After that, I will do a video on certifications, implants, and base capture. And that'll probably be the final video as far as ramblings go. There won't really be that much more to talk about. The rest of it will all just be gameplay. I should have already uploaded, I believe I have already uploaded, as of the time this is going to go up, a session of me playing with my friend Chaos Scythe. We are the only two that have gotten this game back, and we're very addicted to it. We play it a lot, and I usually always play with him. I rarely play it by myself. It's much more fun when you have other people, so he'll probably always be with me for these recordings. But yeah, I will record another session of actual gameplay footage as soon as I am able. Until then, for those of you who don't really like these kind of rambling, informative styles, I apologize, but there's a lot of people that never played this game. Okay, there's a lot of people that never played it, and yeah, a lot of people are going to say, oh my god, fuck it, just show me the gameplay. Well, too bad. You know, if you want to see the gameplay, then you can wait. I'll show you a connection problem. Anyway, I'll show you a connection problem, and I will show you gameplay. I will show you gameplay on my own time. I like being able to go over more in depth what everything in the game actually does. I like being able to give people pretty decent insight on the stuff for this game. I feel very qualified to talk about a lot of this stuff, even though I'm not TR mainly. My main is New Conglomerate. However, I have played this game for 6.5 going on 7 years, so I have dabbled in every Empire, and I'm pretty familiar with most of their stuff. So I do feel pretty qualified to talk about it. In other news, beta keys for Planetside 2. If you do not already know, a short while ago, I believe it was yesterday, if you follow Planetside 2 on Facebook and Twitter, then you already know about this. If you don't, then you should, because as of yesterday, at every half-hour mark, they were sending out beta keys. Just free beta keys, free for all, first person there gets it. Okay? I'm unaware if they're still doing that now. However, if you would like to get into the beta for Planetside 2, then you should check it out. Okay? I personally don't bother following it because I believe it was posted on the Twitter by Matt Higbee, who I believe is one of the lead directors and designers there. He has posted that Planetside 1 vets, being me, will get access to the beta. We will be getting first priority over most people, so I'm not really worried about getting a beta key. I'm probably already going to get in it at some point because I already play this game. But for those of you who did not play Planetside 1 and would like to get into Planetside 2, follow them on Twitter. They may be doing other giveaways like that, so you may be able to snag a beta key for yourself. Until then, this has been Legendary Narwhal, and I'll see you guys next time.